Okay, so we performed a little experiment, me and my daughter Emily. We are hand juicing some oranges. So far she has 4 oranges hand juice, and she's finishing it off, you know, squeezing all the pulp, trying to get as much out of it as she can. She is just under 2 cups for the 4 oranges. We also, as you know, part of the experiment, we wanted to find out how much juice would you get if you squeezed it by hand versus through the juicer, through the Jack Lalane juicer that we have here. And I did this just a minute ago, and we got exactly 2 cups worth. But you'll notice in the Jack Lalane, here's the pulp that gets spit out, and it's really wet pulp. So we're going to also do an experiment, which I will show you that in a minute. We're going to squeeze the rest of that pulp out by hand using a cheesecloth and see how much more juice we're able to get at that point. And then we're going to compare the two and see, you know, are they the same? Is one more? Is one less? Or what? So we'll be right back. So here is the leftover pulp from the Jack Lalane juicer. And look how much juice we are getting out of what the Jack Lalane waste. It's a lot. That is, we're already getting just about half a cup of juice, and she's still squeezing away. Actually, it's almost at half a cup right now. And she still has more juice in there. So that is, you know, half a cup of waste that would have just been thrown out, and we wouldn't have had that valuable juice there. So we'll be right back with some more information that we found. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you here, this juice here was in the Jack Lalane juicer. And look at all that oxidation in there. You've got a big section of foam. So really the juice doesn't begin until it's right here. So you can see the hand squeezed juice and see how much more juice you actually got, and there's no separation whatsoever. And the color, do you notice the color difference? It's easier seen by the naked eye, but in this video you still can see, look at the hand pressed juice, how orange and bright that is, where this is almost kind of brown. It's like a brown orange. And then here is what is left over from the Jack Lalane juice that was wasted.
Pulp.
Yeah, the pulp that was you know, shot into the basket. And we actually squeezed that pulp to see how much more you would get out of it, and just under half a cup we got out of it. So that would have been wasted. And half a cup when you're juicing is pretty valuable. The next test we're going to take here in just a second is the taste test, and see if the hand pressed juice maybe tastes better than the you know, machine pressed Jack Lalane juicer juice. Okay, so now we're going to do the taste test, and she has the hand pressed juice and I have the Jack Lalane juiced. And of course, you know, with all that oxidation, I would typically stir up my orange juice. And when you stir it up, it does look much better. The color is better, but it's still not as good as the hand pressed.
Yeah, it's hard to tell in the video, but
yeah,
this one's like kind of more of a light gold in a way, and then this one is like an orange.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I mean, I'll try this. And I would say it tastes really good. I mean, this is how I usually juice my oranges, is with the Jack Lalane. And I think it tastes great.
This one tastes really good too.
This one does have a different taste.
Yeah, this one's kind of a little bit more sour. This one tastes like more sweeter and better, I guess.
Yeah, it almost tastes maybe cleaner.
Yeah, it does. They have a different taste.
It's strange. It does have a different taste. And I mean, it's good. I would say both are still really good tasting.
Yeah, they're both good. But if you taste them side by side, the hand squeezed one tastes really good, like really fresh.
They're both pretty darn good, but but still, it's interesting, you know.
Yeah, they both are really good, but they have different tastes.
And so what we discovered, though, the Jack LaLanne, it produced 2 cups of juice made from 4 oranges, and the hand-pressed juice did 1 3/4, so just under 2 cups. The hand-pressed one did. But, you know, there could be different variations because of that, because maybe the oranges were smaller by chance for this one, or maybe I had 1 large one for this one, you know, so it's kind of hard to say on that. But I would say as far as how much juice you get out of each, that's pretty equal. But you do get a nicer looking, no separation, no oxidation out of the hand-pressed versus the Jack LaLanne. So
Yep.
that's our little experiment for the day, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers. Okay, now since we were showing comparisons of the Jack LaLanne and the hand-pressed juice, I thought we'd also include the Omega. And the Omega already, right from the beginning, gives you more than the Jack LaLanne. It gives you just under 2.5, where the Jack LaLanne only gave us 2 cups. And with the squeezed pulp that was left over from the Jack LaLanne, we did get 1/2 cup more out of it, but you would have had to squeeze it by hand, where with the Omega, you don't have to squeeze any by hand, and you already get just about 2.5 cups. And you'll notice that the color looks a lot better, if you remember from what the Jack LaLanne looked like. It looks very comparable to the hand-pressed, I'd say. And there's no separation. The only thing you do see is some air bubbles right there on top, where the hand-pressed you didn't get that at all. But this was just simply because of when it was pouring out of the spout and hitting the juice, then it made, you know, the air bubbles there. But other than that, there's no separation like the Jack LaLanne had. So the Omega, I would say, beats the Jack LaLanne when it comes to making orange juice. And hand-pressed juice is also pretty comparable to the Omega, I'd say. Omega might be a little bit, hand-pressed might be a little bit better, you know, slightly. But for the work involved, I would say the Omega is a good choice.